Okay. Hi. All right, this is a quick recap. All right, because sorry, y'all. I pointed out a couple of things that I wanted to talk about because everybody's like, "Oh, T, you down on Dave?" Blah blah. Let's get this straight. I'm not down on Dave. I'm down on ignorance. I can't. I'm not going to co-sign ignorance, and that's what I told somebody in the chat. Sorry, I'm not going to co-sign ignorance. One thing that bothers me is this.
Well, we got a special guest in the building.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. Dame Dash, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Dame.
What's happening? Good morning.
Well, how you feeling first and foremost?
I feel great. Well, first, I want to say that I really appreciate y'all coming in, pause, having a face-to-face.
And this is the reason why, okay, Jay-Z left him, and I think he's still bitter about that. What type of corporate meetings or conversations that Dame is going to have and every other word just shouting pause? You're a grown-ass man. And I want y'all to listen to me, not to respond, but to understand what I'm saying. Some of y'all have jobs, some of y'all don't, but if you're a real business person, you cannot go in there with that, oh yeah, okay, so if we pull out of this deal, pause. Like, that's ignorant. I can't. This is another thing.
Anybody, oh shit, I'm a rookie. Do you think anybody actually uses their own money when they acquire something? Do you think that?
Sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
Sometimes people do.
Yo, I feel sorry for you, bro.
No, sometimes people do.
But you taught us that. You said,
No, I
you said,
didn't.
you said if you
You're
don't put
wrong.
up your own money, if you don't put up your own money, you're not the boss.
And that's why I'm trying to tell you, nobody's a boss. I put up my own money. So let me ask you this. I think you guys have to get up. We'll do that again. Let me ask a quick question. If somebody gets a loan for $180 million, are they rich or broke?
No, they're not rich. They're
So-
responsible for that loan. It's a loan.
So you don't think, so if the billionaire that
Like I told y'all, for Dame to be a businessman, you have to know that rich people borrow money as leverage to make more money. Anybody who rich knows that. I don't know if Dame has ever been that rich because he said he hasn't. Nobody's trying to use their own money and then lose it all and then you have nothing. I need y'all to listen, to understand, and not to respond. Because somebody said that, nah, Miss T, you want people to use their own money. They do. But they trying to keep it too. Like, stop it. I know everybody want to be on this J. Listen, I'm not hating on Dame. I'm not. But y'all have to understand some of the things that he's saying. And if he want to be a good teacher, he may need to go back in the lab, really understand why rich people stay rich, and come back and teach y'all something. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. Dame is making my paid in full. He said, because we lived it. You didn't. You didn't live it. And I'm going to tell you, anybody on that show, before that thing comes out, if I see anybody that I know is capping, because Dame has already told lies, and then he might have asked other people. One of them is already a liar, but if he's asked any of y'all to embellish, don't do that, because it's some of us out here who know who was doing what. We live. Dan, you didn't live as a hustler. I don't recall. And you know what? One of the co-defendants hit me up. He said, T, I'm not going. What is Dane talking about? I don't want to embarrass him, so I'm not going to say it because that's not my intentions. But he got to stop with this hustling, and we was all down together and all this craziness. Be the best person you can be and be a good film director. Be a good producer. But in order to do that, you have to listen. He does not know everything, and that's his downfall. I think Jay-Z leaving made him very bitter, and he got to get up out that funk. Now he's doing videos apologizing to Cam. Come on, 50. You know, that was embarrassing to Harlem. That's just who he is. He gonna have to talk it out with a therapist, or one of his good friends really need to tell him the truth and be like, homie, you sound crazy. And that's just it. You sound crazy. Which I think they told him that, because now he's doing these videos like, I'm sorry, I want to, do better or whatever. But hold on, y'all. I'm trying to fix my light. I messed up. I really messed up. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. There you go. All right. Anyway. I say all that to say is like, because people's like, oh, you hating on... No, I'm not hating on nobody. I'm hating on ignorance. I can't. I just can't. I can't go along with lies. And you know what? My problem with people who want to act like they was in the street, you got people like me who really paid their dues in the street. We're like, I was tied up 6 months pregnant with my daughter because of the street and because of what I was doing. Shot in the street. And people like to use the street game to feel and look popular. I'm going to tell y'all, wasn't nothing cool about it, period. Nothing. If I could change a couple of things, I don't have regrets, but if I could change some things, I would. But I have no regrets, because it made me the strong woman that I am. It was a learning experience, teachable moments. But nah, he got to stop with the, and you know what? Somebody else in the comments before, and even Hassan Campbell was like, y'all need to listen to Dame. It's hard to listen to Dame when he's talking crazy. I think he could be a good teacher if he get out his own head, and he needs to listen to other people. Cam was about to give him a spot on his show, and he like, no, I'm the godfather. You can't executive produce my show. Sometimes the tables turn. But if the person that you gave a handout to is giving you a hand and bringing you back in, accept it. Like, why your ego and your pride so big where you can't accept that somebody else is trying to help you?
I'm sitting here on the dock looking at the view, and I'm thinking, like, why am I beefing with Cam? And the only reason why is because I just never got to talk to him. He publicly said he wasn't going to talk to me, but almost every OG from Harlem and everyone I respect is like, yo, cut this shit, it's embarrassing. So, Daniel spoke to Cam, and we could resolve this. I just want to talk to him, and it's over. And if you need to, because we can't publicly have us as black people beefing with each other. That's just what they want. They use us to tear each other down. They don't do it. We do it to ourselves, but they usually pay us to do it. And I'm not going to get caught up in that. So I prefer to squash this. I want to apologize to Harlem because I know this was embarrassing for Harlem. And I'm man enough, but, the thing is, in Harlem, we deal with things different. It also comes with violence. And I can't.
The little white lesbian Aaliyah. That is one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in my life. Like, even if she calls herself that, and Licky Nicky, I bet he gave her that name. Now, I'm going to tell you, that girl looks young. And I'm not saying anything, but she was the same girl that was at the house when me and my daughter was there in 2019. That's what? 6 years. She looks young there. She was staying there when we was there. I think she was living there. I don't know. But back to that. The ignorance. Nobody, like he has to grow up. If y'all compare conversations that Jay-Z has with people during interviews, listen to him. Listen to the words that he used. Listen to his vocabulary. He has grown. I don't see that from Dame. I just don't see it. And now I'm hoping he does better because, like Hassan Campbell said, you gave Kevin Hart, all these are multimillionaires. Well, Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, you put Kanye, and you put numerous of people on, like Cameron, you helped them out. You can do it again, but the buffoonery, he has to get out of his own way. And I'll say it again, over and over again, he has to get out of his own way. Dame wants this street cred, and I'm gonna put it out there. Dame is not a hustler. I don't know Dame from the street. My daughter's godfather, Leon, who was the boss of the alleged lynch mob. If y'all know about the lynch mob, y'all can look at my documentary or Google it. I was really like I said, I was really close with one of them. We were, together, whatever. Leon was my daughter's godfather. Leon called me from federal prison one day and was tight. Yo, what the hell Dame talk about? I never gave him this or gave him that. Dame talk about being a hustler. I heard him talk about how he was in the car with Cam and Big L. And hold on, y'all. That AC be making mad noise. How he was in a car with Big L and Cam, and he had 3 bricks. I don't believe that story. Dame, shout out to the best style. Claudie B, Kurt, Terrell. This little chubby one, I can't remember his name. Dame was a part of a group called The Best Out, and they used to throw nice parties and boat rides. You could be that dude. I don't understand why people want to feel connected and think it's cool to be. I used to be a drug dealer, and you could still be cool with OGs like Danny and Lou Sims without having to be a part of that, if that makes sense. You wasn't, I can't, because, okay, as I was saying, I just wanted to recap on that, and I don't want Dame's legacy to be reduced to memes and things like that, because it's just not a good look. I want him to do better. I want him to be himself. Don't pretend to be a hustler, selling all these drugs, a gangster, when that was not his case. Like I said, he used to throw nice parties in his group. His crew was dope. Shout out to them. I don't understand why he never shouts them out or whatever, but shout out to them. They still around. And yeah, I'm hoping that my Paid in Full is not a bunch of BS of pretenders. So y'all better get your editing game on, because I can't wait to see it, because I'm going to call it out. We can't be out here doing stuff like that. If we Harlem, let's just be Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Just do the right thing, and it is what it is, And yeah, he has to do better. Oh, this is another thing I was like, when he was like, oh, to Charlamagne, oh, Wendy Williams is your OG. What? Wendy Williams is a multi-millionaire, a media mogul. A multi-millionaire who was a media mogul. She will go down in history as being the best that ever did it, from radio to TV to movies. That's his OG. I would want that as an OG. Nothing against your OG, Dame, but I'm just saying. Like, sometimes we got to think before we speak. We got to really think before we speak. What? That's what I'm saying. Oh, God. All right.
She's a magnificent. The queen.